Hello everyone, today I'm going to be discussing about an error that comes up when you do the new Windows update, and you're going to see the error after a bit after I finish checking this update, but it's basically for the new update which ends in 4441, and what's going to happen is that Windows is just not going to update it. So as you can see, the update number 441KB5034441, and this is for me basically uninstalling the update, and it's not going to be installed and it's going to give me an error. So this is the error code right here, 0x800-70643. If you get this error when you're installing the update which ends with 441 that I showed you before, then I have the solution for this. But before we go into the solution, before we start the solution, I just gotta remind you that you have to watch the entire video, because there are some commands that we're going to use in CMD that could cause your hard drive to be wiped. We're talking about the hard drive that got the Windows in it. It might be wiped if you don't follow the instructions correctly. So make sure to be cautious and careful and follow every single thing and listen to what I say and watch the entire video. So the first thing what we're going to do is we're gonna bring up CMD, and then we're gonna either run it as administrator right here by clicking it, or we can right click and then run it as administrator. It's gonna give you a prompt which is gonna tell you yes or no. You're just gonna press yes. This prompt is basically for the administrator, and make sure that you start CMD as administrator, because if you don't start it as administrator, then it's not going to work. So now that we got CMD running as administrator, it's going to show you right here Windows System 32. The first command that we're going to write is going to be reagent c/space/info. So what we're going to be looking at right here is the Windows RE status, and we want this to be enabled. If this is disabled, then you could try to enable it using this command, which is reagent c/enable. Now if you did this reagent c/enabled and it still won't enable the Windows RE status, how you gonna know if it's enabled or not enabled? Like I said, we're just gonna write reagent c and then we're gonna do /info, and it's gonna show you that's enabled. But if you have any problems where it's gonna say disabled or it's gonna say Windows reimage was not found, then follow these instructions that I'm putting on the screen right now before you continue. You have to make this Windows status enabled before we can continue this tutorial. So now after following the solution, if you had the problem, but if you didn't have the problem, then the next command that we're going to write is going to be this one, reagent c/disabled. We're basically going to disable it for the time being. We're going to enable it later on, but we have to disable it for the next part. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to write disk part. This right here is gonna basically move us from Windows System 32 into disk part. Basically right here is where you find all your hard drives and all the info about your hard drive and everything that is related to the hard drive. So the next command that we're gonna do in disk part is going to be list disk, and this is gonna show you the multiple disks that you have. These are the hard drives that you have in your computer. I have 3 hard drives right here. We're going to be selecting the hard drive that got the OS in, or the Windows in it. How you gonna know which hard drive got the Windows in it is you're gonna go to this PC, where you're gonna be looking for the hard drive that got this Windows logo right here. Now there could be other hard drive that will be called OS or whatever it is. The most important part is that you look at this instead of their name itself. You're going to be looking at the Windows logo itself. So the Windows logo is where the OS or the operation system Windows is at. How you going to know the difference between these and which one is the one with the Windows in it is you're going to be taking the size of the hard drive itself. As you can see, I have 3 hard drives, and I got 953, a 1.81 terabyte, and 237, and the 237 got the Windows in it, which means that my disk is going to be disk number 1. This is where the operation system, because the size between the one right here in the list and the one right here in this PC are the same size. If you find any confusion or anything, just let me know in the comment section. If you have a rare situation or something that is different for you, but this is what we're going to be looking at, and this is what we're going to be selecting, is the one with the OS. So for me, it's going to be disk number 1. For you, it could be a different disk. So how we're going to select the disk itself is we're going to write this command, which is select, then we're going to write disk, and then we're going to write 1. For me, it's 1. For you, it could be different. Now select is going to be shortened to SEL. It's not going to be the whole word select, and you're just going to press enter. Now they're going to tell you that the disk number 1 is now selected disk. What we're going to do is we're going to write this next command, which is list part. This part is short for partition. So we're going to have multiple partitions right here, just as you can see. And the most important part comes right now, and that is between all these partitions, we need to focus on 2 partitions. That will be the primary one and the recovery one. So partition 3 and 4. Make sure to remember which one's the primary, which one's the recovery, because the next part is the risky part, which could wipe out your entire hard drive if you do it wrong. So now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be selecting the partition that has the primary type. So this partition will be, for me, partition number 3, because it has the primary part. If you don't have reserved or system, it doesn't matter. Or we'll focus on is primary and recovery. So the primary one is number 3. So we're going to select number 3 for me. For you, it could be different. I'm going to write cell and then part 3. Basically select part 3, which have the primary one in it. We're going to select partition number 3, and it's going to show you a notification that will tell you partition number 3 is now selected. So now that you selected the partition that got the primary type, what we're going to do is we're going to write shrink desired equal to 1000. Now if you press enter after writing this command and it tells you anything about the size that is too big, you could lower down this number into 250. You cannot lower it more than 250. It's 250. You cannot go under 250. So I'm going to write this command and I'm going to press enter, and it's going to take some time, and then it's going to tell me that it's successfully shrunk the volume by 1000 megabytes. As you can see, it says right here, disk part successfully shrunk the volume by 1000 megabyte. The next command that we're going to do is that right now we're going to be selecting the partition that has the recovery type. Make sure to remember what partition has the recovery. For me, it's number 4, because it says right here that the type is recovery. So I'm going to be selecting the partition that got the recovery one, and right here is going to be basically the partition has been selected, the one with the recovery type. Right here is going to be the important part. So this command right here is the reason why I'm telling you to focus on the type, if it's primary or recovery, because if you selected the primary one and then you wrote this command, then you will wipe out your entire hard drive with everything in it. So that's why you have to select the partition that got the recovery in it, because that's what we want to delete. We don't want to delete the primary one. So now that you selected the part 4, which is the recovery one, or for you it could be a different number for partition, you're going to be writing the delete partition override, and we're going to be pressing enter. Now you're going to get this message: disk part successfully deleted the selected partition. The next command that we're going to write is list disk. And now this is another important part that we need to know about, because right now you can see there's a star right here behind disk 1. This is where my OS is installed. We already discussed that, and the star right here is important, because if the star is right here, then you know that my hard drive type is GBT. For GBT type, we're going to be using 2 commands, but for MBR type, we're going to be using 1 command. So if you don't have the star right here behind your OS, the hard drive where you have your OS in, then you know that you have an MBR. But if you have a star like mine, then you have the GBT. For everybody who's using GBT type hard drive, then these are the commands that you're going to be writing. The first command will be to create partition primary id equal to, this is going to be a long code or a long command, but you could copy it from the description down below. I'm going to put all the command that I used in this in the description down below. So it's going to be DE9 for BBA4, then dash, then 06D1. We're gonna do another dash, then 4D40 dash A16A dash BFD 50179 D6AC. So this is the command that we're going to write. Like I said, if it's too long, then you can copy it from the description down below. It's going to be easier for you. After we wrote this command, we're going to be pressing enter, and it's going to give you the notification disk part succeeded in creating the specified partition. But since we have a GPT one, we also have another command that we have to write, and that command will be gbt attributes equal to 0x8 and then 14 zeros, and then 1. So this is the second command that we're going to be using for the GPT type of hard drive. We're going to press enter, and it's going to tell you that it successfully assigned that attribute to the selected GPT partition. If you have an MBR type hard drive, you're going to be writing create partition primary ID equal to 27. So this is going to be what you're going to write for if you have a hard drive that is MBR format. But I don't have a hard drive that is MBR format, so I don't need this command. If you have a GPT one, you're going to have to write this command and then this command. So 2 for the GPT type for the GPT format, and 1 command for the MBR one. So after that, we're going to be writing this command, format quick fs equal ntfs space label equal, and we're going to be putting in quotation Windows RE tools. My bad, I just need to fix the first W and make it capital. So this is the command that we're going to be writing. We're gonna close the Windows RE tool with quotations, and we're gonna press enter, which then is going to give you 100% completed and disk part successfully formatted the volume. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to do list volume, which is going to be short for is going to be the short of it is going to be list vol. What we're going to be doing right here is we're just going to be checking that the status is healthy, you know, and we just want to look at the list of the volume. Nothing like really big deal, just to make sure everything is in order. After that, what we're going to be doing is we're going to write exit. After we press exit, we're going to be using the disk part. So we're going to be going from disk part to Windows System 32, back to Windows System 32. Right now, what we're going to do is we're going to re-enable the reagency. So we're going to write reagency/enable. We're going to press enter, and it's going to tell you that the operation reagency.exe operation successful. Now we re-enabled the reagency. So how we're going to know if it's enabled or not, we're going to write reagency, same command that we wrote before, /info. Now as you can see, it says right here that it's enabled, and we're good to go. So you're good to go. At this point, you just press exit to get out of the CMD itself. And now that we did everything that we did, we're just gonna retry. So right now that we press retry, is going to retry installing the same update, which this is the update KB5034441. And right now it will be installed successfully. We're gonna be waiting for it. And there you go, it says you're up to date. So now that we press checking for update, it's gonna check for update, and there is no more update because the update has been successfully installed. Alright guys, so you can see that the windows have been updated and everything works successfully. So if you have any questions, if you have any issues, you just leave them in the comment down below. Like the video if you see that this video was very helpful to you. Subscribe if you want any more helpful videos in the future. And yeah, have a good day, and I'll see you guys next time. See you.